Hey guys, good evening. You are welcome to uh, Gst104. I trust you guys enjoyed your holiday over the weekend. And the result, I hope your result made you happy or you are still battling with none. Okay. Yeah, good evening, guys. Victor, Francis, OG, Sufficient. I hope you are satisfied with your result. Just give me a few minutes. I'm trying to open the course material. Nobody submitted the last class assignment. That is not speaking well. Oh. You are given assignment you refuse to do. The homework is meant to assess you guys. It's a form of assessment. But when you refuse to do it, it's just like you are cheating yourself because you are not cheating me. So let's get to business. From Thank God result is out and the semester is now fully in motion. What I will do is by what is it called again? From this night's class, from this week we are starting this is a fresh week. So from this week like this, if you refuse to submit your homework or any assignments given after the class or after each class, there is a tendency that I will start asking your class captains to take some fines from you guys because I don't see the reason why we give homework and you will not do it and you want to study. So, Other Jeremiah, you are welcome. I hope you guys can hear me audibly. What we have today is school libraries. But before we start school libraries, permit me to remind you that we've done academic libraries and we have done research or special libraries. And I think by now you know that when you have any kind of research to do, for instance, your final year project, you decide to write on a project that says uh, let me what is the current thing happening in now? What is the current issue we are encountering in now? So let's assume, okay, for instance, this issue of results that we had a lot of biases and inconveniences and so many people coming up with different things. This is not what I was expecting. I did better than this, blah 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 blah. So if you decide to make a research on it, you probably say you let's say uh let me try to come up with a topic that we I just want to give you guys an insight into research and, of course, how we we make use of research library. I want to use a practical example. So you might want to say that you want to research into the reasons why most students, or let me say maybe following the release of the semester examination result, many students have expressed concerns about high failure rates, that is incomplete grades, especially in practical courses. So, and so many of them are having doubts about the transparency of the assessment and grading process in none. Also, we have limited empirical evidence on student perceptions of the grading system. Communication is poor, and then transparency surrounding the release of result. So if you've seen that that is a challenge, I'm giving you guys how to use the research or special library now. You've seen that that is a challenge in your school currently. And the main purpose of research is that you identify a problem, then you find possible solutions to solving that problem, and then you make recommendations. So if you notice that none over the years have been using a kind of system, a grading system that is not transparent enough, and you decide to pick it up as a problem, now you want to look for the solution. You can come up with project topic like maybe students' perception of transparency in the assessment and result management process, a case study of National Open University of Nigeria, or perceived transparency and student confidence in the assessment and result management process following the release of the 20 non-examination. When you've come up with a topic like that, the next thing is that you will need materials. You will need materials to start that topic. Some people would have written about grading system before in previous research or researches. Some would have written about student perception. Some would have written about different style of grading in open universities. So you will need materials that in one way or the other contributed to knowledge that is available on that particular topic. That is why you will need to visit a research library. Now, what you will do in a research library is to gather literature, materials that have been written before now, that will help your own research. So you go there, you find materials that relate to open university or general student perception or result, what has already been discovered before now, before your own research was done. You will check them out and you will use them to help your own research. So we're having a lot of people not contributing to this class, and that is very poor, but no problem. So let's continue to what we have today. I'm just trying to recap that we have done research or special libraries before, and we have done academic libraries. Don't forget, academic libraries means libraries of institutions, higher institutions like universities, colleges of education, polytechnic, and the rest of them. Version, which is school libraries. The second version of it, which is school library, that the one that, or possibly, let's just say, the difference between academic library and school library, because when we were treating what is it called again, academic libraries, I know you have some questions in your mind that okay, what of libraries that are in secondary school? Since we say academic library is just library that is found in any higher institution like polytechnic, university, and the rest of them. So what of the ones that are found in secondary and primary school? Or are there not are there no libraries in secondary or primary schools? So this is an answer to your question. School libraries. So school libraries are libraries that are established in schools. They are attached to primary and secondary schools. Sorry. School libraries' main objective is to serve the educational needs of pupils, students, and of course, teachers. Among other resources, school libraries particularly have fictions, visual materials, study kits, and relier. So that is school library for you. Why do they uh, establish libraries in primary and secondary schools? That is a question we need to deliberate on to help us understand the concept of school library. Why do we need libraries in those institutions, or sorry, those part of the school system, primary and secondary school? Is it that primary school students, or sorry, pupils, do they want to read? Do they normally read? Do they consult the libraries? But you need to know that if you will be using the library in your institution, in your university, if you have not been in contact with a library before, like in your primary school, your secondary school, you've never seen a library before, then you just enter university and they start showing you that this is a library. Know that something is wrong. You don't have a prior knowledge. You don't have any understanding of a library before your university days. Then it's going to be very hard to teach you everything a library is from the university alone. So they've been building the primary school, the secondary school have been inculcating in you the reading habit, how to use a library, and what a library looks like. So in the settings of the primary and secondary school, where you see things like uh, fictions, all these storybooks now that all these storybooks that children read. Normally, you see Ada went to the market. Uh, uh, if I had known, all those kind of funny people should give me titles of those funny fiction and all those storybooks that they normally write for children. Adaeze and the crying goat. Yeah. So we have quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of them. So you have. I'm trying to recall one particular one I think that I've come encounter with before. Probably that we read in our primary or secondary school days. Uh, ah, you guys should remind me. All those we have a lot of emotional that will say, discipline is the best. Can you call if I die known. Uh, Ngozi and the sleeping giant. All those kind of all those kind of things that you see in children library. And then you have visuals. You have visuals like images, charts, charts that shows them how some things operate, kind of a complete chart, like maybe how to operate something, how a school system is being done, and some other things like that. Mm. So we have study kits. Yes, the study kit may contain different kind of things, including the ones you use for shading, for coloring, crayons, and the rest of them. Anything that aids their understanding, the children's understanding in studying. There are all these relier that we are seeing here, because I know somebody is supposed to ask that what is the meaning of that one. This particular word that I highlight here. What it means is that any real objects that you can imagine that aid learning, that is used to teach children of their age. Like for example, you may see fruits, you may see orange, banana, apple, but not the real orange or banana apple. You know all those ones that I used to see that they will make of plastic, but it will look exactly like the fruit that you are trying to teach them. So those are real lie. Uh, we have leaves, for example. You can have even stones and soil that you have in the class, in the library there. Something like and so on and so forth, even toys for the primary school pupils. So anything like that that is a real object is what we call real. So that is for school libraries. Libraries are mainly to serve the uh, needs of the pupils or sorry students, the teachers, not only the students, even the teachers. So you people cannot Adamu, the hence man. What is the meaning of hence man? I don't think I understand that your example, but I would have loved to read that storybook. Adamu. So if wait, the wicked stepmother. Ah, Oda Jeremiah, God bless you. In fact, Jeremiah used to read a lot of storybooks. This one, this one is true. This is the perfect one that I normally use. The wicked stepmother, Chioma the golden girl. Thank you, Benedicta. Mm, I, Adamu the henchman. I don't really know what you are trying to type. That henchman is, I think that is a typo. I don't know. Beauty and the Beast. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. It's not reality, so it's reality. Don't go and write reality, so real. Then I. So, what are the functions of school libraries? Since you already know and appreciate what a school library is now, the library you find in primary and secondary school, that is one we call school library. Academic library, libraries we find in universities, college, polytechnic, or any higher institution. While research or special libraries are private libraries that are based on a field of knowledge or group of knowledge. I'm just trying to give us the difference between those types of libraries we have. So, what are the functions of school libraries? Since we already know it's found in primary and secondary school, what is it there doing? What is it expected to do? What is the function or functions? One is to collect relevant information resources that will enhance the performance of the teachers as well as the pupils to achieve the aim and objectives of the school education. That is the first purpose. It gathers resources from different places, all the textbooks and resources that are needed to make sure that the aim and objectives that the school is running by is achieved. So that is the function number one. Function number two, to develop and create in pupils good reading habits. They like asking questions on this function number two. Develop and create in pupils good reading habit is a function of dash library. That is how the question used to come. It's a function of dash library. It's a function of school library. It's develop. You know, when you I don't know, some of you, if you can trace back, some of you that are very good in reading today, that you like reading novels, if they give you a novel of 500 pages, you are not bothered. You feel like you just grab it immediately. That habit did not just start in you. The habit did not just start in you in your university days. It's because you have been used to reading storybooks right from primary school. In secondary school too, you started getting novels. That is why no novel now, no matter how long it is a challenge to you. It doesn't pose a challenge to you. You just like, I can read it. So that reading habit has been created since your primary school days. All that time that you're reading Ada Go to School, The Wicked Grandmother, Kinika, Integrity, discipline and whatever, all those things that you're reading then, they were actually creating in you something, even though you may be reading them for fun, for recreational purposes, but they were actually doing something in the real sense. They were creating in you then, or developing in you, the good reading habits. So function number three is to help pupils to improve their vocabulary. You notice that while you were reading then, like maybe The Wicked Grandmother, and they use the word maybe mm, even the word wicked, you probably might not know the meaning before. When you are still a kid then now, you want to know what is the meaning of this word. You may be asking your auntie, please, what is the meaning of this word? That is how you start learning new words. You see the word like judicious, you feel like or when you see the word comprehend, because the woman did not comprehend the child's behavior. Now ask your teacher, auntie, please, what is the meaning of comprehend? You see, little by little, you, even though sometimes the words may not know how to pronounce them, but you find yourself trying, then you are building your vocabulary. The moment your teacher said no, it's not compre, it is comprehend. And then it's okay, comprehend. What's the meaning? Okay, it means to understand something. That is how that child will learn comprehend. So the child knows the vocabulary, it develops it, it's gather resources that is needed to achieve the objective of the school. Those are the three we've talked about so far. Number four, work. It support academic or school work. Take for instance, you want to talk about let's say plant, and you have like in the library of a plant, maybe a maize plant. You understand that is there. So when you go there, you take the pupils there as if you are going for excursion. You go and check it in the library and see how it is. That is how it supports schoolwork, and some other uh, ways in which you support. That is just a typical example. So number five, help teachers and pupils to be current and up to date with daily information sources. That is one other function. Number six is that it serves as a source of subject information center for both teachers and pupils. Definitely, there will be a lot of textbooks in the library on mathematics. There will be a lot of textbooks in the library on social studies. So when you want to read more about social study, either as a student or as the pupil or as a teacher, you can just go there, pick a social study textbook and read what you want to read. In that way, you've gotten information that will help your subject, your knowledge of the subject social studies. So it serves as a source of subject information center for both teachers and pupils. These things are not things you really need to cram. You just need to understand that, okay, if we have a library in a primary school, what are the things that library will likely be doing? In what way will it benefit the pupils? In what way will it benefit the teachers? In what way will it benefit the school at large? If you can just reason like that, you will know even naturally that, okay, if we have a library in a primary school, I think it's definitely to develop reading habits in the pupils. You see that one now, even without reading the book, you just naturally came up with it that what will a library be doing in primary school if not to help the, you understand, something like that. So now the last one, pupils in the use of reference materials. For instance, in your social study textbook of a page, they wrote you should consult or check textbook, and you see the title there. So when you get to the library, you go and look for that book and read. So they help pupils to understand how reference materials are being used. So those are the 7 functions the school library. So I will give you guys an icebreaker. I want you guys to 5 of them that you can recall. just in the chat box. Let's try to list at least five of them, like starting with okay, Grace is saying that her network is poor. My network is not poor. Sorry, I don't think that is a general thing. So, and at least tonight there is no ads disturbing anybody. So I don't believe anybody should be having issue. So in the form of summary, what are the functions of the school library? Number one, it collects relevant information that will enhance the performance of teachers and pupils and help in achieving the objective of the school education. It develops in pupils reading habits, a good reading habit. It also improves their vocabulary. It supports academic or schoolwork. It helps teachers and pupils to be current, and then it serves as a source of subject information. And lastly, it helps to train pupils in the use of reference material. So, having done that, we are done with school libraries. So we can move to the next type of library. And this next type of library is really interesting. You will love it. Okay, I have an icebreaker there. So you guys answer the icebreaker as we proceed. So the next one is public libraries. The next one we have is public libraries. And don't forget the ones we have done so far. We have talked about academic libraries, libraries of institutions, universities, colleges of education, polytechnic, and any higher institution you can think of. We have talked about research or special purpose libraries. Research or special libraries. Those ones they are there to serve information on particular field of knowledge or a combination of two or more fields of knowledge in a single library. They are basically for researchers and they are privately owned. For academic libraries, they are owned by the institutions. They are run by the institution that owns them. You understand? To the institution they belong to. That is for academic library. Research or special library, they are owned by private individuals or entities. While school libraries are libraries for primary and secondary school and mostly owned by the school. Then we are moving to another type of library, which we call public libraries. Now, let's read a bit about this man called public library and how it operates, who owns it, how do they run it. Public library is a library that is open to everybody, whether you are a primary school pupil, secondary school pupil, university, researcher, market person, a casual person, anybody. So long you belong to the society or the community, you live in that community where the library is situated, you have access to it. Now we're going to talk more about it, but I want us to read the material first before we start explanation. So let's quickly read through what the material has for us. So public library is a library that is open to everybody and is generally accessible by the public. Its source of funding is public taxes and operated by civil servant. There is this general question in TMA and in exam that says that type of library is generally supported by taxes. Taxes. You should know that they are talking about public library because academic library is supported by the institution it belongs to. Research library or special library, they are supported by the owner, is the owner, and then the income the owner is making from the people that are coming to use the library. You know, we said in that academic library or research, sorry, in that research or special library, we mentioned that they run other things like photocopying, printing, and the rest of them to support themselves. So that one is funded by the owner. While the school library is funded by the school it belongs to. But for public library, it is supported by taxes. So it's from the tax that they are able to support it. They are able to fund it. There are five fundamental characters or characteristics shared by public libraries. The first is that they are generally supported by taxes. Usually local, federal, or state government may contribute. They are under a board to serve the public. That is number two. Number three is that they are open to all, and all community members can access their collections. That is number three. Number four is that public libraries provide basic services without charge, according to Rubin in 2010. And I think the fifth one, if I'm correct, have you mentioned up to five? Let's go through the characters again. One, they are generally supported by taxes. Number two, they are open to all, and all community members can access their collections. Number three, public libraries provide basic services without charge. Okay, maybe number four, the presence of a public library in a community is an indication that the community is literate. That means we have educated people that can read, people that can read in the community. Is it in your Ofulo village where there is nobody that can read, all grandma and grandpa, that they now say they want to go and construct or open a public library? Who will read it? Who will use it rather? Who will use the library? So when you go to an estate now and you see public library there, or you go to an area randomly and you see the first indication you have, oh, the people in this place, they are fire. Oh. People here, they read, though, now. So you like find a library in your village. I challenge you, all of you online now, none of you have a library in your village or in your villages. Because people in your villages, they always say, Uma, how are you now? So there is a tendency that there is no library in your. I'm not saying that all of you don't have library in your village. Don't come and attack me later. But there is a possibility that all of you online, okay, all of us online now, we don't have a library in our village. Why? Because the people of our villages are not concerned. They just want to wake up, go to farm. Those that will go to market and enjoy their life. If there will be anything that will gather them together, so maybe there is a festival, New Yam Festival, Egungun Festival, and the rest of them. But library, no go area. So if I go to an area now, what's the indication of seeing a library in that area? It means people in the area are literate, they can read and write. And the last one, or if that was the last one, I don't know. The basic difference between a public library and other types of libraries is that the main aim of public library is to provide needs of the general public rather than provide the information needs of just a particular school, institution, or research population. Now, we are trying to draw a line of difference between the public libraries and other types of libraries we've mentioned. If you study academic libraries very well, its aim is to serve the information needs of the student and maybe lecturers, or just information need of the institution it belongs to. So National Open University of Nigeria Lagos Study Center Library now is serving the student and staff of Lagos Study Center. Research or special library now, a research library that is like the Cocoa research, or the one that is only concerned with medicine. You understand? It will serve information need of anybody into a research that relates to medicine. You understand? The one that is serving the information need of agriculture will serve the information need, or that this with agriculture will serve the information need of anyone into a research that relates to agriculture. That is it. Then for school library, as we've learned earlier tonight, serves the information need of the teachers and pupils of the school. We are now saying for um public libraries, their own purpose, their own aim, what who they are serving is the general public. They are not restricted to only pupils of a school, or only people that are into agricultural research, or are into medical research, or to only non-students, or to only UI students, or to only UNILAG students. No, public, anybody that is literate can enter and use them. So they serve the information need of the public. That's why they are called public libraries. And then the services of the public library are free. You don't pay when you enter a public library to read a book, or probably to borrow a book. They organize reading clubs, storytelling, exhibition, etc., just to keep the place fun. Users can borrow books and are given access to internet where available. This they are where. There is an error in that. That should be the where with H. That is just a typo error. So you can see all we've done on public libraries. First of all, they are supported by taxes. So tax is like the oxygen or the blood that runs public libraries. We mention other things like they are open to everybody in the community, and they don't take charges. And when you find one in a place, it shows that the place have literate people. And then we talked about difference between it and other types of libraries that we've mentioned earlier, is that this one is generally open to the public, or open to the general public. And this the services of the public libraries or library are, and they organize reading clubs, storytelling, and exhibition, etc., to keep their users lively. And then users can borrow books and are given access to internet where available. So let's go to the functions. Now that we've learned about public libraries, what they are, who owns them, how they are run, and some of the things they do. Now, what of their functions? As we know that they serve the public, how do they serve the public, or what do they offer to the public? One, they cater for the social, educational, and recreational needs of the community. We are talking about functions of their functions and services. The function and services of public libraries. One, they cater for the social, educational, and recreational needs of the community. How do they serve the recreational needs of the community? Like sometimes when you are bored, you just go to the library. You just vet your anger on a book and start reading, maybe a romance book or anything. Or sometimes when they organize storytelling section, that is recreational activity. Sometimes when they organize reading club, you enjoy yourself. Those are recreational activities. They also serve educational needs. You can read books there and get enlightened, and also social needs. So that is the first thing. They cater for your needs all round. The second one is that they collect, preserve, and disseminate library resources suitable for different categories of people, such as children, adult, literate, and illiterate. So it's a place, since it's a public library and it's generally open to all, they will not say that it's only books for adults that we have here. No, any category of user may come and they have to serve them. So you will find storybooks of either go to school, as much as you will find the integrated science materials. So that means they have diversities of resources. That's what they're trying to say in this option number two. The third thing is that they usually engage in repackaging of information using audio-visual materials and indigenous languages to render information services to the illiterate class. That means this library is really doing more than just collecting resources. They also rebrand, they repackage some resources to suit, like now, if we have some interesting material that they need even the illiterate people to enjoy, they will interpret, they may use voice recording, demonstration, and anything to record a voice interpretation of that material into their local dialect. For instance, if it's in the Igbo land or in the Yoruba land, they will convert that material to audio version in Yoruba language so that those that are market women, illiterate people can also benefit if it's something that is very important. So they are into repackaging and rebranding. Please, when you are asking the exam, which type of library involves itself in repackaging? It is not research or special library, it is the public library. So they promote recreation and leisure reading, of course. They promote recreation and leisure reading. Leisure reading is what you do at your free time when you are somehow less busy. You observe your leisure and then you use it to read at your leisure time. So they promote the civic and cultural activities of the community, even though they are trying to make people engage in reading or any other activities they are doing. They don't forget or forsake the culture of that land. It's very important. So they create and strengthen reading habits in children from childhood. Since it is generally open to everybody, children visit it to read, they find their own suitable materials then, and by so doing, the thing is, some of you don't know this public library because all the areas you have ever lived in your life, Ojuelegba, Sango, Ota, Gwagwalanda, and all the rest of them, you've never seen a public library in your life. You don't even know that there's something like that. So you don't even know that children go there time to time. They even have children reading clubs. They have adult reading clubs where people can come, come together and read. They form reading circle, reading this thing. Sorry, you guys, don't worry. When you want to give birth to your own children, go and give birth to them in nice areas where your children can join reading club in the public library. Your own time has already passed. Sorry. So they support both individual and self-conducted education as well as formal education, and provide adequate information that will improve an opinion of the masses. We've done quite a lot on the public libraries. You already know what they are like now, even though you don't know it before. I let me see if I can uh, check for an example of a pub library and its location so you see what it looks like. I want to see if we can actually see a public library and and see what they do. I want to see if you can see a public library and what they do. Okay, I will share a new screen now. I want to show you guys example. Like I mentioned earlier, in this course, we'll be visiting a whole lot of them. We have not started yet. When we get to the place now, when we start talking about some resources, we'll visit them, we'll visit Google Scholar, see how to use all of them to get information that you need. Now, you can see examples of public libraries in Nigeria. We have the National Library of Nigeria, which is NLN. I don't know, they have it in different states. We have I think we have this Abuja nostalgia in Abuja. You can see that they are not that beautiful. They are not like school libraries or. Okay. Just feed your eyes. I'm trying to see. Okay, we see National Assembly Library, but that is what we are going into next. This National Assembly Library, we'll go into that next, and then uh, we'll see how that National Library is like, because we'll read about it next. So you need to see how the National Library of Nigeria looks like. So when we get, let me share the screen and you see the National Library. This course is sweet, it's full of research and the rest. So this is the National Library in Nigeria. You can see how large it is and very big. Oh my goodness. Because it serves as a repository for all Nigerian events since they created Nigeria. Yeah, good. Don't worry, that's what we are going into next. So you will likely understand the purpose. This is the National Library of Nigeria. This one is the next thing we are reading about, National Library. You see what they are meant to do. You see what National Library is meant to do. It's seriously meant to serve as information need of the country. Well, it's not even information need. Like they will be putting all past events. Don't worry, we'll read about it now. Let's not be guessworking. So you have seen public libraries. Now the next type of library we'll talk about. But before we go to this next type of library, may I remind you what we have done so far? We have talked about academic libraries, libraries that serve institutions like university, polytechnic, colleges of education. We've talked about research or special libraries, libraries that serve information need of researchers or people into projects. Like we have the Cocoa Research Institute, we have the agricultural wherever library, we have the medical library, like the ones that deal with anything about medicine, that deal with anything about agriculture. So this one focuses on one field of study or combination of field of study. So that is for research or special library. And then after that one, we talked about school libraries. And for school libraries, we said they basically serve the information need of the pupil and teachers of the school they belong to. And the last one we talked about is the public library, which is generally supported by taxes. It is an open library to every member of the community. It serves the information need of the people of that community, and it is free of charge. That is public library. So we are going to the last type of library we'll talk about in this material, which is national libraries. What is the work of national libraries? You guys should be checking my time, oh please. Check my time very well. I don't want to. Oh, we've passed time already. We're supposed to stop at 45 minutes. Okay, let's vote. Should we take the National Library or we should start from that in the next class? We've promised ourselves not to be exceeding 45 minutes in each class. But it seems this one is interesting. So, what is, let's vote. Let's vote. Are we taking National tonight or we move it to the next class? Okay. So many people are saying we should just finish it. Thank you, Victor. Victor is always giving me a green heart. I really don't know the meaning though, but I thank you. So, God bless you, Victor. Now, national libraries, without wasting our time, let's quickly read it and then digest it. Like we've seen the picture of the National Library in Nigeria already. But let me also uh, let's go through it now. So national libraries are specially established by the government of the nation to serve as the preeminent repository of information for that country. Unlike public libraries, national libraries rarely allow citizens to borrow books. Their collections usually consist of rare, valuable, or significant works. The major mandate of national libraries is to serve as the memory of the nation. Everything Buhari is, oh sorry, why do I like saying Buhari? Everything Tinubu is doing since the day he entered office till today is being recorded. Where will you find the record? In the National Library. The first president of Nigeria, what he did, all his impacts, all the things he do, internal, external, whatever, they are all recorded. Where will you find the record? In national libraries. So, libraries is to serve as the memory of the nation. Being the nation depository center, they are responsible for receiving all copyright publications within the country. Every material that have been produced by Nigerian author, people like Wole Soyinka, as in very deep researches, landmark uh, materials that, as in materials that were highly celebrated, that shows creativity in Nigeria or anything, you will find a copy of those materials in the National Library. That is anything that talks about enriching our culture, we as nations, sorry, as a nation, you will find it there. So that is what they mean by it is the memory of the nation or the repository for depositing events, records. So since we already have an experience of what national libraries, what it means now, or what it look like, well, basically it's established by the government. The difference between public library and national library is that public library interact a lot with the people in the community. There is this kind of openness. Anybody can come in, borrow book, go do this, do that. But in national libraries, no. In fact, national library, you will need some kind of written permission from a particular institution or a particular uh, let's just say a particular institution. It's not just anybody will just hello, hi, yes, 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 I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I want to check the record of Shehu Shagari. Do you have it? Where is it? Please bring it out. I want to read it. It's not you people can even see the building. If you see the building, you know that this is not somewhere you just go free anyhow. You must have a purpose for visiting that library, and it's not just anyhow person that visit it. So, functions of national libraries. The functions of national libraries, not so much, just about three of them. Unlike the school libraries when we talked about seven functions. One, the function of national library is to act as the legal depository and bibliographic center of the nation. There is no president that we have in this country that you not see their records in that national library. So to give advice or library development or organization to any agency of the federal, state, or local government, to give advice or library development or organization to any agency at all, federal, state, or local government. And the last one is to have a responsibility for the national bibliography and development bibliographic services. I want to believe you guys know what bibliography actually means. Have we talked about bibliography before? When we're talking about the meaning of a library, I hope you guys still remember. I want to strongly believe we talked about it before. Is there anyone who will remind us what we talked about bibliography? let me use that as an icebreaker. If you have anybody, if you don't have anybody, let me quick answer my thing. Let me not be wasting my time waiting for you people. Okay. I think Francis is asking a question. But before I answer your question, let me answer that of bibliography. It's just a list of books or a kind of article that shows or acknowledge Nigerian, for instance, for our own now in Nigeria, for that our national library in Nigeria, is going to acknowledge Nigeria authors, Nigeria writers, and the original works of some people is going to be acknowledged. It's just like all the researches that have been done in Nigeria, all the projects that have been done, everything that is original work of Nigeria, you understand, not AI work or anything, original work of Nigeria that shows creativity, is going to acknowledge them in the bibliography. So, and that is to give credit to the original author of those materials or those projects or findings, and also help any reader to locate other resources that are related to that particular material so that they can further their studies. So, and mostly in every book you actually get, you will see the bibliography in the book. At the end of the book is a list of all the sources of information used in that book. So, back to Francis. Uh, okay, back to Francis, or is it Francisca? Back to your question. You said who can visit the National Library. Before that, let me read the last part of this place tonight. The National Library of Nigeria, with the headquarters at Abuja, the one I've shown you earlier, plays a parental role to other libraries in Nigeria. It issues the International Standard Book Number, the ISBN that you used to see on most books, textbooks, and the rest of them. They get it from that library in Abuja. And then to other publishers and authors of books. So that is the end of national libraries. So, uh, let me now answer Francisca. Let me use this example to answer you. Imagine a roadside uh, mm, what will I use now? It's not like, wait, let me put it like this. Who can visit the National Library? Anyone can actually visit the National Library. Sure you get. But not just without a purpose. For instance, a student can visit the National Library with a student ID card, official student ID card, recognized student ID card. It's different from somebody that is just going on the road that will just branch. So if you don't have a body that you come under, sorry, that you came through, you will not be granted access. So you're either a student, a researcher that is currently undergoing a project that requires some information from that place, or you are a teacher or a lecturer, or maybe somebody that is already known and a known author, a publisher that have been writing books, that have been publishing books, or even a civil servant. And any civil servant has a clearance to enter National Library. You may be a professional in something or member of the public that has some research. The thing is, just know that for you to say you want to go for fun, you understand, or you say I want to go and borrow book, no, everything you want to do ends there. You go there, you do the thing you want to do, and you get out. You understand? Those are reserved materials. So anyone can actually go there, but with a genuine purpose. In fact, there must be paperwork of the thing you want to do there. So that is it. That is the answer to your question. So, guys, I think we are done tonight. We've done justice to types of library, and I'm so glad. The next thing we are going into after this, so let's go to the next unit. In the next unit, we will go to library services. Fine, we are going to unit 2, library services. Show you what we call bibliography. Look at bibliography here. You see all these links that they put here after the unit we just finished reading. For references, they fall under bibliography. So what we are going to do before we close tonight, there is a video link here. There is a YouTube video which is a summary of this class from the school. A summary of this this particular unit that we studied by the head of department of library and information. Let me share it and let's watch it together for just 8 minutes.
And offer targeted
So let's hold
services
on. You
and
will see it
programs
now.
with the mission of educating, informing, or entertaining a variety of audience and the goal of stimulating individual learning and advancing society as a whole. Libraries. There are basically 5 types of libraries. Academic libraries. Authors, however, group school libraries together with academic libraries. Academic libraries. These are libraries of academic institutions, such as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. The purpose of establishing is to meet the information needs of staff and students in the institutions they belong. Functions of academic libraries. Academic libraries provide research information resources in line with the needs of the staff and students. They provide information materials as required for the academic programs of the parent institutions. They provide information resources for recreation and for personal self-development of users. They provide specialized information services to appropriate sections of the larger community. They also cooperate with other libraries at appropriate level for improved and better information services. They provide conducive reading environment and facilities. Now let's look at research and special libraries. Research libraries are also special libraries. They are purposely established to cater for patrons with special and specific interests. Special libraries serve an identified group of users with common interests. They are privately owned and funded by the organizations that establish them. The resources of special libraries cover only particular subject area or group of subjects. Their subject area is usually defined from onset. The information supplied by these libraries to their patrons is usually comprehensive and up-to-date and mainly for research. Now let's look at the functions and services of research or special libraries. The functions and resources of library must be in line with library primary objectives of the parent body of the library. The first function is to provide in-house training activities to new users and staff members alike. Provision and production of bibliographies. Provision of current awareness service (CAS) to the library clientele. A space must be allocated for CAS in the library for the exhibition of newly published materials. Provision of literature search. Selective dissemination of information (SDI) The librarian must know users' profile and send relevant information to them on their areas of interest. Provision of other supportive services such as provision of photocopying, printing, and document delivery services. Interlibrary loans and network are also provided by special libraries. Special libraries perform some other internal and external services, such as writing of periodic reports, organizing conferences, seminars, talks for users and outsiders. Now let's have a look at school libraries. School libraries are the libraries that are established in schools. They are attached to primary and secondary schools. School libraries' main objective is to serve the educational needs of pupils, students, and teachers. Functions of school libraries: collection of relevant information resources that will enhance the performance of teachers as well as the pupils in order to achieve the aim and objectives of the school education. Development and creation in people's good reading habits. Help pupils to improve their vocabulary. Support academic or schoolwork. Help teachers and pupils to be current and up to date with daily information resources. Serves as the source of subject information center for both teachers and pupils. Help to train pupils in the use of reference materials. Now let's look at public libraries. Public libraries are libraries that are open to everybody in general and is generally accessible by the public. Its source of funding is public taxes and operated by civil servants. Functions and services of public libraries. Public libraries cater for the social, educational, and recreational needs of the community. They collect, preserve, and disseminate library resources suitable for the different categories of people, such as children, adults, illiterate, and literates. They usually engage in repackaging of information using audiovisual materials and indigenous languages to render information services to the literate class. They promote recreation and leisure reading. They promote the civic and cultural activities of the community. They create and strengthen reading habits in children from childhood. They support both individual and self-conducted education as well as formal education at all levels. They provide adequate information that will improve the knowledge and opinion of the masses. Finally, let's look at the national libraries. National libraries are specially established by the government of the nation to serve as the preeminent repository of information for that country. Unlike public libraries, national libraries rarely allow citizens to borrow books. The major mandate of national libraries is to serve as the memory of the nation. Functions of national libraries: they act as legal depository and bibliographic center of the nation. They give advice on library development or organization to any agency of the federal, state, or local government. They have the responsibility of the rebuilding national bibliography and development of bibliographic services. The National Library of Nigeria, for instance, which is located at Abuja, plays a parental role to other libraries in Nigeria. It issues the international standard book number to publishers and authors of books.
So, guys, that is wonderful. That is the HOD, and you can see that everything we have been doing from the beginning of the material to today, so to where we are today, she just summarized it in 8 minutes. She did the summary in 8 minutes. So that is a wonderful one. So if you have missed any part of the class before, that is a kind of recap for you. Now, like I promised you guys, we'll be visiting links because this is use of library. You need to know some of these things. So I will click on this link now. We will see where it takes us to. we see where this link will take us to. Okay, this one is not clickable, but I can copy it. This is our reading section, so we explore everything that is explorable. So let me copy it to my browser, paste it, and see where it leads me. And then we will see what we can. This is part of the place they got their resources from, the resources they used in developing this particular course. So I have it. They say the origin and development of library. This seems like a book. Advances in computer science. Okay, let me accept that. It seems like a book. And you can see, you can read this book for further understanding of the course. So that is why the link was there. So if you click on that link, it's supposed to take you here. And I think you can download this particular resources as a PDF. The download button is there. If I should do this now, I will download it and I can read it offline. Well, I just hope that you people that I know, even the material, say you have not finished reading it. You now say you should go and be reading resources. It's only God that will help you guys. So that is one. I have another one that talks about different types of libraries. It's still in the material. That is the second link. Let me copy that second link and visit it here and see what we will get. Okay, that second link seems to have been revoked. It's no longer working. No problem. We have another one that talks about types of academic libraries. So let's copy that one and visit it and see what we will get. So this is how to read this particular course. There are a lot of resources available at the end of each unit for you to click, visit, and explore to know more about the unit. That is to do extensive reading. Page not found, which means this one too has been revoked. You know, it's been long. They wrote some of this. They wrote this particular material. So that is just it. And then the next one is just a link that will download a PDF directly. So that is how to consult links when you are uh, doing research or anything. And that brings us to the end of the class. We are done with Unit 1. In the next class, we are going to Unit 2. And we are moving very fast, and I love that. Thank you guys for your patience. And that is the end of the class. But not the end totally, because I have an assignment for you guys. Please, I have an assignment. And the homework is this. I don't know if everybody here tonight are in the mass communication group. If you are in the mass communication group, fine. If you are not, let me just drop it here. The assignment is that who is online among the class captain? Which of you is online, so I will know who to assign the assignment to. Anyone online among the class captains? So take the homework. It's very important too. I'm not seeing any class captain here. Okay. So the homework is very simple. That is it. You guys should try to do it. Submit it to Grace in the group. If she's not here, you guys should copy it and drop it in the group for her and remind her that she's the one to coordinate it. I will receive it before the next class. That is either on Sunday or on Saturday. Thank you guys. Thank you for your patience. Have a wonderful night rest. See you tomorrow.